Hi everyone, it's Gayle. I am back with the second in the journal series, and this is kind of a viewer request. I had the request to do some covers without sewing. And I think that's a great idea. Not everybody has a sewing machine, but just as a sort of overall thought on this, and that is that really anything that you can do sewing, you can really do with glue. It's just a different way of adhering paper to fabric, fabric to fabric, paper to paper. So if you have a sewing machine, great, you get the stitches and stuff, but you can do the same thing with glue, really, because it's all about, just attaching something to something, right? So like on a journal card, when I sew around the journal cards, you can just glue that and then, either hand or with a stamp or something, make little sewing lines if you want, or just leave it glued. So without further ado, let's make a cover similar. Let's see, let me grab the one that's in the works here. This is the one we did in the first session, and I did sew around the edges of it. It's, fabric, it's some muslin, and it was a Special K Bars box. So I've got a cornflake crumbs box here, and we're just going to use that for this one. So I did have a question about the spine, and the spine is really just the edge of the box. That's all it is. So I just cut the bottom, cut the top. You can cut it to size. Now let's see what this one is. This is about 8.5 and a little over 5 here. So it's a little different size, but I think it'll work great. So let's get started. I have this beautiful fabric that is kind of almost like a tapestry. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, I think. I'm sorry. We have fires, and so it has started in Montana. Oh, fire season is the worst. But our air quality is not great right now, so staying inside, which I don't mind, but also it makes me sneeze. Let's see. I'm just looking at this, trying to decide, do I want up here? Do I want down here? I think I might want down here. Look at how this particular fabric is kind of frayed down here. I really like that. So we're just going to cut this to size. I'm just going to put the box. Let me see if you're at a good angle. I got you kind of close, but I think it'll be good. So I am going to give this a bit of space around the edge, and normally we would sew it, but this time we're going to glue it. So I'm at a really odd angle doing this on camera, so excuse me as I just kind of try and find my spot. And as you can see, I don't really measure the fabric. I just lay down the box and cut around it. And, it could end up being a little wonky. And if it does, it's a handmade journal. That's okay. Let's see. Let's cut about there. On this one, I think I can follow. There's very faint lines in the fabric. I think I can kind of follow those up the side here a little bit. Okay, cool. So that will be our outside. Let me get rid of this piece of fabric, get it out of our way. And then I'm just going to take the muslin, coffee dyed muslin. I think it's muslin. I don't know. It's a funky fabric that I'm not sure I think I coffee dyed it. I thought maybe my friend Carolyn and Candy sent it to me, but Carolyn said she doesn't remember it. So, okay. So there is our cover. And see, I already have a piece out of this, so I should be able to kind of follow that line, I do believe. And let's just kind of line it up. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of go up the side here, because I can use this small piece to do little embellishments on ephemera or something. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get back to this journal series. I have so many projects on my mind and on my plate that I just am having trouble getting them all in. I came back from vacation all fired up, I guess. Okay. I might end up cutting some of this off. I don't know, but for now, we're just going to go along the fringe. I might want to cut it up above the fringe. I don't know. We'll just see. But this will be a good piece to do some fun little layering with or something. So I'm going to put that up in my little layering box. Alrighty then. Let's get started. And now the fact that we're gluing and not sewing, you might remember when I did the other cover, I just kind of put a skiff of glue just in the middle, sort of, because I was going ahead and doing the edges with the sewing machine. But because we're not going to do that, we need to really go to the edges. I'm going to just grab over here on my table, I'm going to grab a little paper so I can put it under so I don't get it all over my table. So the fact that we are gluing, I'm going to go all the way to the edge, and I'm using, this is Fabri-Fix. This is Hobby Lobby has Fabri-Fix. I don't see a big difference between Fabri-Fix and Fabri-Tac, but and I do have Fabri-Tac on my Gayle's Favorite Things on my website if you don't have a good source for that. Now I'm gonna glue a lot heavier here just because we're not gonna sew. And I'm just doing this first panel. This is, I guess you would say, the back panel, and then I'm gonna lift up just because I don't want the glue to dry out. Okay, so very generous with the glue. And what I'm going to do is put down my cover wrong side up so that I can lay this really where I want it on the fabric. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's fine. That's fine. I should have gone a little up a little higher. I think I'll try and do that. Just give a little more of an edge at the bottom. Okay. I think that will be fine. Okay, get that nice and pressed down. Good old Fabri-Tac. Okay, and then I'm going to do the spine. Now, I'm still not going to glue in the middle of the spine, and that is, I'm just going to go down each edge, the edge down low, up the edge, and the edge up high. And that is because, you know, we're going to sew in our signatures probably, unless we do a hidden spine. And I don't want to be poking my needle through dried Fabri-Tac. So Okay, so now we're going to just go down the other side. I will say too, on the sewing machine issue, if you don't have a sewing machine and you want one, you know, you don't have to get a $12,000 quilting machine. You know, get a couple $100 Singer from Joann's. I mean, that's what mine is, and it does just fine. And because it's not a $10,000 machine, I feel like I can sew whatever I want on it, and you know, including mirrors on a boho journal, apparently. However, it did have to go to the doctor after that. Oh, goodness. So anyway, I just, I think sometimes we think, oh, we need the best to be able to do this stuff. You really don't. Mine has lots of different stitches and it works just great and everything. So yeah. And we are going to do the Fray Check around the edges. You saw that in my other video. We're still going to do that. But now we've got that well adhered all the way to the edges. So now, don't think I'm going to need that because I've got a little edge of fabric to work with. But see how that's just fraying? It's loving the fray. So I think other than the bottom, which is purposely frayed, I think we're going to go ahead and do the Fray Check on that. Okay, so I think I want this side up because it is beautiful. Okay, so now I'm hoping that using more Fabri-Tac on this isn't going to make it, isn't going to have it show through too much, but since we're only using glue, it's what we have to do. And you know, you can always decorate over the top too if glue marks come through, but I do want it well glued. So I'm just gonna go back and forth and give it a good coating. And I really did a good coating on the edge, but we're also going to do the edge of the fabric. Is that how I wanted it? Let's see. I think I wanted it like that. Okay. So, sorry, I have to stand up to see what I'm doing. I just want to get this placed properly. First time, hopefully. Yeah, and that's a little funky with the edge, but I love the coffee dyeing on the edge, so I think I'm going to leave it. Okay, so that's well glued down, and let's do the same thing with the spine and only do the edges. Should have put the cap back on my Fabri-Tac. I'm kind of getting to the end of this bottle, but I have some partial bottles over there that I thought we could use up in this project. So really at this point might be a good time to do this edge of the fabric. I should have done that on the first one, but I didn't. So we're just gonna get that kind of Fabri-Tac'd along. Okay. And I'm going to put the lid on my Fabri-Tac. Sorry for taking a second to do that and put it upside down in my cup here. Okay. Now I didn't have the glue come through at all, so that was nice. This is it's pretty heavy muslin, and I'm just gonna kind of run my finger on those edges a little bit. And I'm not going to bend this until it's completely dry. I mean, just trust me, there will be a spine, but I don't want to bend it because I don't want to mess up the fabric at this point. Okay, let's use this again and see. I feel like I have those edges really well. Okay. So it's just these edges that I need to do because I didn't do it when it would have been easier. Before I glued the rest of it. But that's okay. We can go back and just pop our glue in there on the edge of the fabric all the way around. So if you don't have a sewing machine, you will go through a little more glue. There is that, but you know, it works just fine. You know, it works just fine to glue it. So yeah, I don't ever want you to think that just because you don't have a sewing machine, you can't do the things that you see others doing on YouTube. You totally can. It's just a different method of adhering it. So, okay, get that smooshed down. Technical term, smooshed. Okay, I'm going to grab my fabric tack, or my Fray Check. And again, the Fabri-Tac and this Fray Check is on Gayle's Favorite Things on my website, and that will be in the description box. So feel free if you're in need. Okay, like I say, we're not going to do this bottom because this is frayed and perfect the way it is. Now, I think what I want to do is trim up a bit first. So we're going to do that. We're going to trim it up just to, I think this side will be easier for me. So I'm just going to even that up with the upholstery fabric. Okay, and then even up the top here. It's easy to cut because we don't have the box. The box is, you know, ½ an inch back from it, if that makes sense. Perfect. Please cut. Thank you. Okay. And then this side. That is awesome. Awesome coffee dye. I'm going to keep that little scrap for the top of a tag, I think. But these can go in the garbage. Okay, I think that is well on there. Very well on there. Okay, so now let's do the Fray Check on the edge. And this bottle's nearly gone, so we're gonna have to get a new bottle probably before we finish this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, again, it's got the little edge, and so I'm putting both covers or both pieces of fabric between, and then I'm just going to squeeze and run it down, and that is going to glue / keep that from fraying. So you can kind of see the darker line. That's the glue. That's the Fray Check working. Okay, well, we'll go till we run out, and then I'll show you how I might be out. Yep. Okay, that's all right. Let's just open the other bottle and I'll show you. Gayle's going to have to order from Gayle's favorite things. Down to my last bottle of Fray Check. And if we're doing a lot of journal covers, we're going to need it. So, okay. So what you do is you take off the cap, right? And it's got just this little pointy thing, which is great. Oh, sorry, I hit the camera. I'm sorry. But then you put this little cap on after cutting off. You have to cut off the end and put that on, and you're ready to go. Okay, so that one has served its purpose. It is gone. Okay, so let's continue, and we're just going to go right along this. So not only is this going to keep the fabrics from fraying, it's also going to glue together that edge a little bit more than even with the Fabri-Tac. So that's kind of a bonus. Oops. Got a drip there. Excuse me while I need a new thing of baby wipes too. I don't know about you guys, but I get my baby wipes by the case at Costco. I just get Kirkland brand, and I get them by the case because I do go through them. I'm always surprised. Don't squeeze so hard. You got plenty in this bottle, Gayle. Okay. So, there we go, guys. There is a no-sew kind of tapestry type of cover. I'm just gonna do a little extra here. So I turned that over. I just saw that it kind of really looked like it wanted to fray. I think I've gotten the rest of it really pretty well. So there you go. I'm going to put that aside to dry, and we're going to talk about some others that would be fun. So I pulled out some other things because I thought I knew that this would only take, 22 minutes. So the other thing that I like to use for a base for my journal covers is these 9x12 envelopes. I'm sure I just got these at Staples or somewhere. 9x12 envelopes, I mean, you can get them anywhere, right? So, so that's another thing I like to use as the base. The other thing that's great for bases, let me just grab one here if I can, is a file folder. And you can make these little ridges. You can then bend those and make your spine. Jeez, Gayle. Okay. So I have a couple things that I wanted to kind of maybe play with a little bit. So I found this at an estate sale. This is a piece that was, you can see on the back, it was embroidered on, and I love it. I think it's so beautiful. So I'm thinking about making that a cover. So I've got that. Another thought is these little charm packs that you can get at quilting stores. I have this poppy one, and I thought maybe a patchwork would be fun on that. And same sort of idea. Ooh, I have some little pieces of old flour sack fabric that I thought could be fun as like a patchwork too. And then the third thing I thought of was Chenille. With Chenille, doing some patchwork with Chenille. And so I think we're gonna do the chenille first. I don't know, it's just calling to me, so let's just do it. Let me set that file folder aside. So I have this piece that I believe I think I found this at a garage sale or estate sale or something, I think. I did get some of my chenille pieces I got from Amour Fabriques on Etsy. And so, and probably other places on Etsy. Just search chenille on Etsy and you'll find what you need to find. Okay, this one, you know, these have the little clasp that goes over. This one, I'd already taken it out and then glued this down. You can leave this open as a pocket too if you want. I don't want, so I'm not going to do that. But anyway, so I'm going to take this. Now, my thought with this is that you could glue down all of the squares that you use. You could glue them down, but and you know, and do just what we did with that last one, glue around the edges and all of that, if you don't have a sewing machine. Okay, so that's, I think, what you'd need to do if you don't have a sewing machine. Now, because I do have a sewing machine, I'm going to sew this. But I thought we'd make it together because we have time, right? Okay, so I'm just going to turn this. Based on the scraps that I have left, it looks like I've already done a cover like this. But thought this would be kind of fun. And then the other two too. So now I have this fun little piece. So I think what I'll do is incorporate some of this on the front as well, because yeah, because then that way it sort of ties it in, or whatever you would say. Okay, so all I'm going to do here, because again, I'm going to sew around the edges. Oh, you know what I was thinking though, is I was thinking about sewing each one of the patches, you know, sewing on the edge of them. Again, you could glue, but okay, so this is going to be the inside. So I'm going to actually set that aside, because I would sew on those little patches and then adhere that. So let's just play a little bit with some chenille collage, if you will. So I have lots of little patches, and then this I know is from Selena, and it's got all sorts of little scraps, which would be perfect for this. So I'm going to have chenille fibers everywhere, but that's okay. So yeah, so I'm just going to look for, oh yeah, these are great. These are perfect. And then we'll just, ooh, that's a good one. And very full of fibers. But this is my thought, is just to kind of layer them together like that, and then go back and sew onto the fabric, or onto the, well, yeah, onto the fabric, but onto the base as well. That's a cool one. Oh no. These are bigger pieces than I thought, so we may just cut some of them. I think if you took a little piece of tape to this, it would pull all these little fibers from the ones that it was next to. I think I'm gonna cut that. don't know. I think this could be really fun though. It was one of those middle of the night things I thought about, you know, how that happens. I don't know how much my sewing machine's going to love this, but because it's going to be thick, but you know, where there's a will, there's a way. And my poor sewing machine has to put up with me and my craziness. Let's see. I don't know. I might like put this under everything. I'm just kind of laying out right now to see kind of what I want to do, and then I'll go back and kind of want another dark one. That might be just fine right there. Okay, I need to cut it right about here. Ooh, that's pretty, just like that, isn't it? Okay, I don't want that over the top of that. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is turn that around and maybe cut off a little bit of that. Snip it. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, my nose is driving me nuts. I think it's just all that smoke. Ugh. Woke up this morning and I had my windows open and it was like, oh my gosh. And of course the fire was man-made. What? People are just not thinking, I swear. Okay, I think I can move all that up a bit. I don't know. Have no idea what I'm doing, guys. I'm just playing. But the idea of doing patchwork is just kind of fun to me. Oh, I didn't incorporate any of this. Hello. I just said I was going to incorporate this, and I haven't. I like this edge with the bumpies. So what if we went up there with that and put this along the edge or something? Okay, I'm just going to cut a piece of it. I just heard my washer finish. All those household chores that mess up my crafting time. Okay, I want, I think, a little more purple. Which this is nice because it's kind of like that. I think we'll cut that one in half. So I'm in my basement, which is generally cool. In my craft room here in my basement. That one is not quite thick enough. What about this one? I think I might. But I think I want it under everything, kind of. So it's going to be interesting then to go back and sew, isn't it? Maybe something like that. Maybe something like that. Okay, so now the hard part is I gotta take it apart and sew it. And glue it. Because I'm going to glue these in place first, then sew them. So that could be interesting. Okay, well, no place to start but to start, right? Okay, so maybe what I'm going to do is just I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue under this guy. And really just have to do the middle of it because, right? Just to hold it down. I think I can go up with this one a bit. Down with this one a bit. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. How's that for a tutorial? Join me while I do a tutorial on not knowing what I'm doing. which is usually mine. It's all an experiment. Okay. Okay, so then I'm just trying to get enough glue so that they don't move when I'm trying to sew them. So I think I'm not going to sew on camera because I want to try a couple of other things. And so what I'll do is the next time we get together, I'll show you the results of this. Would help if I could get my glue out, wouldn't it? Okay, I'm going to set this upside down for a second while we try and get these placed somewhat. It's Franken chenille. It's kind of what it's doing. Okay. So then let's do this. And put this there. Put this here. Ugh, getting glue everywhere, guys. That's how it goes. Okay, so let's do this thing. Okay, I'm gonna put this one on. I need a little edge. I didn't leave much of an edge with that one. Better give that more of an edge. This more of an edge. And an edge here as well. Okay, so that's down. I feel like I want something there. Which is okay. Oh, I know which one. This is like my favorite piece of chenille ever. Isn't that pretty? So what if we did maybe starting to have a hard time parting with it because, okay, but I like that just right there. So let's do that. Let's just give it a little. And I have brown thread in my machine, and I don't want to use brown thread on this project. Probably white or something, or light gray or something. Okay, so we have that all glued down. So next step, I'm going to sew all the way around all of the edges of this. And once I get that all sewn, then I will put this on the back side of the envelope. So that one is well on its way. Yay! I love that. I'm real tickled with that. I think it's going to be really pretty. And I think I'm going to do a zigzag. So now, if you're doing this as a no-sew, what are you going to do? You're going to get every edge of every piece of fabric, and you're going to actually glue the entire thing down. Then you're going to glue your back on the back and then go around the edges again with glue. So just a lot more gluing. Because I'm sewing, I can only just glue the middle, but if you're just gluing the whole thing, you're going to want to put glue on every single edge. Okay? So, hope that all makes sense. So let's play with another one if we have time. I'm sure we do. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're at 40 minutes. Let's do at least one more here. Just probably one more because I have such a hard time making decisions. Okay, so I have another one of these out, and what I'm going to do is just work at this until it pulls free, which is kind of a pain in the tushy, but I don't like having these on here when I'm sewing because you run the risk of running into it with your sewing machine, right? So you just have to work at it a little, but it pulls out. And then what I'm going to do is hit that with some of my art glitter glue around all the edges. Okay, and then that then creates just a nice edge that's just all good to go. Okay, so I don't know. I'm really kind of intrigued with maybe using some of these flour sack fabrics again. Just look on Etsy. I'm trying to think of the name of where I got these. It's got fabrics in the name. I can't think of it right now. So just go on Etsy and look for either vintage fabric or feed stack, not flour sack, feed sack fabric. Feed sack. Yeah. So I'm not sure what I'm going to put on the other side of this because I mean, I just don't know, but I have gotten these at different places on Etsy. So you just go and take a look. See, I've got some of these itty bitty ones that could be kind of fun just to pop around everywhere. And what are these? These are 2.5-inch squares. So that's fun. Look at this little Dutch one. That's fun. Some of them are a little more plain. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but let's just play. I wonder how 2.5 inch. Let's see. I'm going to want it up and over the edge a bit, aren't I? So let's just see how that would be. That one's not quite the same size, but close. And to be honest, some of these I don't think are feed sack like this one, but that's okay. I'm all sticky from Fabri-Tac. I don't love that one. It's going on the wayside. Okay, so then what if, or, I mean, we could just take some of these bigger ones. Ooh, that one's really bigger. Let's cut that one. And we'll just go ahead and have different sizes and see what that looks like. Once again, all an experiment, really. Okay, so we're going to want something on the edge there. But I'm liking how this looks. I think it's fun. Let's see, what's this little one? That's so cute. Yeah, and then again, we'll just, here's a yellow one. Okay, so right here, I kind of want a long strip of something. How about this red one? This could be really a fun farmhouse journal cover, I think, right? Or just vintage. It's always so funny to try and stay in camera and do some of these things. Okay, I like that. I like that. Put that there. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go for some a little bit bigger squares. That's fun. I think I want this one. And I'm really just cutting along the fold line. I'm not obviously measuring or anything. But let's try that. So kind of once again, I just encourage you to play and see what you get, you know? See what you get. Let's see, maybe, oh, this has two. That's exciting. And you could do this with any sort of fabric, you know? It doesn't have to be farmhouse fabric, not at all. Let's see, we're gonna need to go sideways, aren't we? It's this one. Again, that doesn't really look like farmhouse to me, but whatever. I'm going to rearrange these a bit too. I want it to be not so lined up. Oh, here's a black. But see, that's not farmhouse either. Ooh, look at this one. That's farmhouse, a feed sack. Sorry. Don't know why I can't seem to keep that in my brain. That's nice. Okay. I think I just need a little square of something. Just not crazy about any of those. Just not. So let's dig through and see. I love this one. Let's just give that a bit of a cut. I'm actually gonna go right here. Sorry, I probably am off camera cutting that, but I think I'm just gonna cut right up here. Put that there. It's kind of fun. And I wonder if I just want maybe put that there. Oops. Put there. And want something right there. I'm just looking at colors. Don't know if I want, ooh, look at that one. That's pretty. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that. What do you guys think? Me too. I think this needs to be smaller. I just pretend that you answer me in the way that I want you to. Okay, so now this is going to be tricky. Oh, and I left my glue standing up. Okay, let's think of a game plan here. I think I might just lift up, run glue, lift up, run glue. I think that's what I'm going to try and do. Maybe if I glue those two pieces in the middle, it'll kind of help hold. How's that for a plan? Let's see what we can do. Let's see what mischief we can get in. I'm going to put that right there. Put this right here. Put that right there. That might sort of help to hold that. Okay, now I'm going to do the edge, but not right up to the edge, because again, I'll be sewing, trying to get to the middle. So helpful if your glue comes out. These two. Okay, let's go under here. Under here. And let's see. Sorry guys, I got to move my chair a little bit, and you know it doesn't move. That is my next investment, is a new chair. I am tired of fighting with this thing. I need to go over to Staples and see if they have one that, I mean, I'm on carpet, so I get that that's causing me some problems, but it's like the wheels just don't turn properly. So I think I just need a new one. Take this one to Goodwill and let somebody else fight with it. It's a nice desk chair. They were getting rid of them at my office when I worked, and so I said, yes, I would like it. But now it bugs me. Okay, I think I have that all down. I think. So, yeah. So I think I can put that under my machine and do the zigzag. And actually, I think I might do the brown thread on that. So how much time do we have? We have about 6 minutes. I'm going to back this out a bit. And let's go ahead and start sewing this. And I'll just show you what I had in mind for it. And same thing with the chenille, but this one, let's see, let me move this chenille. But this one I can use brown thread on, so let's do that. I hope I have enough thread, enough bobbin and everything, but we'll just go for it and see what we get. Okay. And then I will tell you, I'm going to do zigzag. Okay. And I'm going to have my needle stop down. And there's going to be lots of stopping and starting with this just to go around. But I think I'm going to do this red one first because it's right in the middle kind of. And so, yeah. Okay, let's just go for it. What do you say? See what we get. And again, I am stopping my zigzag on the left. On the left. If you stop on the left and you turn a corner, it makes a nice, neat corner for you. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Nope. You sure can't. It's under the machine. I'll show you when we take it out. Just kind of pressing it. Try and keep it somewhat. Now, another thing that I often do with these covers is put a little bit of quilt batting under the fabric, and that gives it a little bit more poof, if you will. Okay, but you know, this will be fine. This will be fine. It'll be just good. Okay, I'll show you what I mean about the corners. See, like right there, how nice and neat that corner is. You're not stitching over yourself, and that's because as I came down this way, I stopped at the left, then turned and continued sewing. So that's just a little hint for nice corners. I think I'm going to do this little guy next. Because, you know, just got to start somewhere. I apologize if this is kind of bouncing around the camera. Ooh, that guy doesn't have any glue on him. Okay, we'll fix that when we get this out. Okay, got to kind of roll it. All my pieces are flapping, but we're gonna get this done, by golly. It's tricky. It's tricky. Okay. Now we've got to repair over on the other side. But that's all good. Okay. So let's just kind of scoot this over for a second. So this one moved a bit. Don't want that. And this one moved all together. So let's just put a little here. And I almost put that glue in my water. It could happen. It has happened. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and check and cut threads, because otherwise, as I'm doing other sewing, they're gonna get caught up, and then that kind of makes a mess. Okay, this guy is a little crooked and I don't like him, so I'm just gonna reposition him before I sew. Down that side is what I'm thinking I'll sew. Okay, let's just start there. Oops. How that happened, I do not know. I must have turned off my sewing machine. It's like a habit. Now this time I'm kind of straddling the seam, if you will, with my stitch. So I'm catching two pieces of fabric at the same time, if that makes sense. Okay, and I'm not back stitching. I think it'll be just fine. What I may do is put some fabric tack where the stitch lines are when I adhere the back, just to keep them down a little bit. Let's see, let's do down this way. I just want to kind of get part of it done so I can show you. And again, please don't let this discourage you non-sewers, because you could certainly do this just with glue and gluing down the edges really well. It's hard for a sewer to not sew, though, I will say. Because it's just, you know, it's just kind of how I do it. So, but like I say, it's just another way of adhering things. So glue works just fine too. Okay, so let's see, down here we need, no, I think I'm going to do that one because that's kind of flipping up on me. So, yeah. So you can see it takes a little time, but I think the results are really cute. Let's see, I'm gonna go right down this little seam right here. Okay. Now on this side, I just need that little spot. I just want to make sure everyone is sewn down since I'm not gluing. If I was gluing, I wouldn't need to worry about it as much, but okay, let me trim some threads. Okay, well, anyway, you can kind of get the idea of how this is going to look with the little, nope, there's another thread with the little zigzags, but like I say, you could just glue all these down and that would be really cute too. So I hope this was helpful and I hope you enjoyed working along with me today. And I think the next journal series, or the next in the journal series, will be the Reader's Digest covers. So thanks everyone so much for watching, and we'll just see you next time. Bye bye.